Hi, good afternoon. It's Scott Stoltz with Create Your Great, and I am sitting here today with Sue Lunt. And I want to ask you a question. We're going to get into an amazing conversation for the next 10-15 minutes. Have you ever thought about doing a cleanse? Have you done a cleanse and had good results, mixed results, not much in terms of results at all? But more importantly, what are the benefits? What are the things that we can get out of doing a full body cleanse related to our diet? And I'm sitting with Sue Lunt, who I'm going to introduce in just a second, and she has given me a whole plethora of information and wisdom around how important cleanses are, but maybe more appropriately and fitting, why we need to do them, what do we need to consider, because I think these are big decisions that people make when they make a choice to do a cleanse. So anyway, Sue, welcome. Thanks for sitting with me today.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So we're going to jump right in a second to the cleanse, but why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do, who you are, and your connection to the cleanse program as part of your coaching.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, as Scott said, I am a nurse, and I'm a nurse working as a health and wellness coach. And I feel very fortunate to be at this point in my career, towards the end of my career, and working and learning about all the types of things that have been shown to keep us healthy over time. Because let's face it, really whether it's at the end of your day or at the end of your working career, you want to finish with the energy and the health to do all those things you want to do. And what I've learned over the last decade is there are definitely certain things that keep us healthy over time. And it's really our habits, our everyday habits.
Right.
So what do we do every day? One of the things is eat.
Mm-hmm.
And very often it starts with the food we put in our mouth. And as a nurse, I wasn't taught about nutrition. I only had one course. So I've learned this through life experience and work. And there's been people who have developed cleanses because they know certain foods tend to be inflammatory. And so when you're doing a cleanse, you usually start by eliminating some of those foods. So there's lots of different programs out there, but the one I'm offering I like because it's simple and it's short. It's 10 days, 1 weekend. So that's how I'm here.
Do people see results and they start to feel results like early in that program, or do you have to get through the full 10 days before you start to feel the difference?
That's a great question, and the answer is it depends. Some people will notice things right off. Most people, it'll take 4 to 5 days before they're really feeling some of the results, and 10 days is a short period. If any of you who have looked at cleanses know it's 10 days, 14 days, 21 days, 30 days. The longer you're basically in cleansing, you're giving your body a rest. Think about it even in school when you just knew you'd been eating junk for too long. You get off it and you feel better. But this is more targeted. When you're doing these foods, experts have studied and shown that they tend to be inflammatory. So when you get off them, the longer you're off them, the better you feel. But most people in 10 days, because then you start introducing the foods back one at a time, then all of a sudden they notice. So say you thought you were great on milk, and many people are. I don't want to say no milk forever, but many people discover in a cleanse that dairy really does bother them, and that when they get rid of it, their skin is better, they feel less bloaty, they have more energy. But the only way to do it is by eliminating it for a period of time. So you add everything back slowly.
I'm sitting here with Sue Lunt, wellness coach, and we're talking about the benefits of doing a cleanse, doing a shred, and a cleanse is part of Sue's program, which we'll spend a few more minutes on, and at the end you can share how people can get involved and learn more about you, your work, your program, not just on the cleanse side, but also overall all of your wellness coaching. So for somebody who, and I would ask you all to think about this too, think about what are the things you need to know about, whether you were to ask a question with Sue or to Sue right now, or you follow up with her at a later time. What are the things that you would like to know about how a cleanse would benefit you and how you get through it? And I have a question that I would like to throw your way.
Okay.
So as somebody who is relatively health conscious, but I don't spend a particular amount of time, learning about all the differences in foods and if dairy is good for me or certain things that I want or don't want to put into my body. What kind of suggestions or help do you give to people who are more lay people when it comes to nutrition and food and don't want to spend time counting all the calories or looking at all the ingredients on every box?
So are you speaking as part of the cleanser or more one-on-one? Either way.
Actually, overall,
Okay.
one-on-one in your program. Yep.
Yeah. Many people come to me because I do one-on-one coaching to find the answers to just that. And I often start them with some type of modified version of this Shred 10, depending on what I learned from talking to them. I like the cleanse that I'm running because it kind of helps them out of the gate know certain foods they're pretty tolerant of. So I think it's a good starting point.
So just by doing that, they'll learn about what foods are helping or hurting them.
Yeah.
And it's pretty easy to grasp, and they'll pick up knowledge just from doing that cleanse. You can pick up knowledge that you'll carry with you forever.
Yes.
Oh, that's so great. So in an ideal state, and again, if you've been through one, please share with us. Comment, share this video. If somebody goes through a cleanse and it works really well, what are some of the benefits that they're going to see and feel?
Well, one of the things that most people notice when they're doing a cleanse, or this type of cleanse, which is a whole food-based cleanse, because part of the things that most of us don't realize is that the processed food, the preservatives and things in processed food really play havoc in some of our systems. Not everybody, but in some people they really play havoc, and just by getting rid of them you can feel better. And a consequence of many cleanses is weight loss. So it's not the goal, but even more than weight loss, many people lose an inch or so. And that's because when you're getting rid of the toxins, the way our liver actually flushes out those toxins, believe it or not, it grabs onto fat and that comes out too. So it really does help to do a specific cleanse. And one thing I should mention is part of cleanse is really increasing your vegetable and fruit intake, the so-called everyone says increase fiber. What does that really mean? When you participate in this cleanse, you'll understand what it means to have a good amount of fiber.
That's so great to know. I've always wondered. I've had that question before, that if I did a cleanse, would I feel? I think I could lose a little weight, but it's never been like a primary driver for me. I just want to feel better.
Yeah.
But I've wondered if I do a cleanse, if I would feel a difference around the waistline. You think so, huh?
Most people do.
Great.
Yeah.
So what got you? You were telling me a little bit about your story earlier. I thought it was amazing. So your background and years as a nurse. Can you share with us a little bit more about the things that you've done in the past and what drove you to, at this stage of your career and your life, to help people as a coach and to do things like a cleanse?
Yes, I've been very fortunate. I've been a nurse for many, many years now, and I happen to be probably one of those rare people who's loved almost everything I've done. And the most rewarding is now. How I became to this point is about a decade ago, I met a woman who was testing a wellness program, which was based on whole foods. And she hired me at the time for my nursing skills, for my ability to coordinate, to stick fingers, to measure cholesterol, glucose, blood pressures, that type of thing. But to coach the people or help the people that were part of the program, I asked to be part of it myself. And what I discovered was that by eating a whole foods diet, I really could increase my energy. Not overnight. It took a good 6 weeks or so. But I had never felt better, and I didn't think I felt bad. I mean, I've been fortunate to have basically maintained weight overall. We can all afford to lose some, and I did as part of that program. But it fundamentally made me realize that what I ate had a huge impact on how I felt. And so that led me to understand the coaching language, and because I'm a nurse, I want to deal with the evidence. I want to know what's worked over time, and I'm driven to those type of programs. That's what Shred 10 is too.
Shred 10 is the name of the program,
right?
And you settled, you found, you became familiar with, and you're comfortable, and you use this in your overall coaching program. Tell us a little bit more about that program, how you came to find it, and why you incorporated that one into your coaching.
Okay. About a year ago now, I was working in an integrative healthcare center, and really I had a chance to learn a lot more about food there. But one thing I found there is most of us know we can do a lot better in our food, fruit and vegetable intake, but how? And I was looking for something simple for people who wanted to cook but didn't have the time, and just needed something simpler. And I came across Juice Plus as a whole food supplement that has the ability to flood the body with fruits and vegetables just in a capsule a couple times a day. And it was through that program, they've been around for 30 years, I was introduced to Dr. Mitra Ray's Cleanse program, and it just made sense. It complemented what I had learned in the past, but it made it simpler. The shakes in this cleanse, they taste good, number one. They balance the blood sugar. And many people have trouble, they call it cravings. It's because their blood sugar has dipped tremendously. And this program, well, it's got a lot of science behind it. I think it does a good job.
Well, and that's why I think your work and somebody like you brings a lot of value. And again, I do look at it from my perspective, but again, as a moderate health person, I pay some attention, but not super close.
Right.
I need people. I would need and want somebody like you to get into the science side. I don't really want to get into that.
Right.
So, and for all of you out there who are watching or seeing this later on, ask yourself that question, like, what level of effort? Because when I apply myself to a coaching program, and I've done quite a few myself, and now am a coach, when we make that kind of commitment, when we pair up with a coach and an accountability partner, and oh, by the way, we're paying a little money for the services,
Right.
we're more committed.
Right.
And I see a lot of value in that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
For sure. What you keep referring to Whole Foods, and I love the store. I go to the store all the time, Whole Foods. But what's your short 20-second definition? What are Whole Foods?
Whole foods are single ingredient foods. They're things you shop the perimeter of the grocery store.
Fruits, vegetables.
Yeah.
Are juices or drinks considered? No.
No.
And are there benefits? I know that's part of a cleanse, but if I go into a store, a Whole Foods or otherwise, and I buy one of those cold pressed juices, am I getting enough of the nutrients that I would get out of eating the actual vegetables?
Isn't that the question? We don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't.
Why am I buying it then?
I don't know.
I just have one coming here.
I mean, when you think about the labels in this world now, and they're intentionally confusing, and we don't always know what's in the foods we eat and drink. So when you look at the ingredient list, which is different than the nutrition label, and you understand what you're taking in, there's a very good chance it's a whole food. So, I know any of you have read any of Michael Pollan's work, but he has, simple food rules. He wrote for the New York Times for a number of years. And so you can look him up, and he says, don't eat anything your great-grandmother wouldn't have recognized. And I like that.
Say his name one more time, please.
Michael Pollan.
Okay, and worked for the New York Times. Great reference there.
Yeah.
So what do we, as we wind down in the next moment or two, we're going to do two things. And we are going to give you all a call to action and something to walk away from this video to ask yourself, to follow up on, and even potentially do. But what are one of the last things that you want to share about the program, or just your coaching in general, that I find a lot of value, not just the science, but some of the other things you just said, because we don't know. That was a great trigger for me. We don't know what's in all this food. And we need people who at least understand it a little bit better. But what kind of parting wisdom would you share prior to a call to action with people that they should just, whether they do a cleanse or not, like what should people think about when it comes to their diet and food on a daily basis?
Wow, good. I think to sum it up, I think in general, many people accept feeling less than their very best. And they just think for a number of reasons, oh, I'll get back to the gym, oh, I'm getting older. And they don't realize it's fundamentally what they're putting in their mouth, coupled with how much activity there is each day. And those are the guidelines that one-on-one coaching can bring. So you look at, for each of us, the types of foods we want to eat, the amount of exercise, what stress techniques are going to matter to us is different. And that's where one-on coaching can really hone you in. So I love that as a follow-up to the cleanse. I think group cleanse, it's exciting to work with your buddies and other friends. But then when you're called to action, I coach both one-on-one. I will coach in pairs as well. And then I also provide just general lunch and learn programs so people have the comfort of the group, like healthy habits, which ones make a difference.
Let's hit on that in a second, but I have to tell you that's amazing insight and you're so right, because we accept a lot of things. We accept ho-hum jobs. We accept relationships that aren't really healthy for us, and we accept. I never heard it put that way before. It's so true. We accept a mediocre diet, a lack of exercise, and for a number of reasons. We got to help people get over those blocks.
We do. You just know you can feel better. You really can.
That's amazing. So what do you have coming up? What do you want to share with the group?
No, thank you. I have coming up, I'm running this Shred 10 Cleanse, and so if you live in the Fort Devens, Mass area, it's at Dragonfly Wellness on Saturday, March 31st. I'm providing an information session, which is a lot more like what we did here, but I'll be giving out the specifics for the cleanse. And if that's just out of your reach, you can email me or Facebook message me. If you're seeing this on Facebook message me or email me at suelunt19@gmail.com.
And we'll be sure, we'll throw those in the comments and anywhere else that this video is posted for follow-up. So Saturday, March 31st.
Saturday, March 31st at noon.
All right. So there you have it. There's your call to action. If you're in that area, look it up, check it out, and best case, go.
Pre-register if possible.
Pre-register if possible. That's another call to action.
Yeah.
Check out Sue online, meet her, go to her session, learn a lot of this great wisdom that I'm learning today. And even if you're not in the area, check her out online. Find her on Facebook. You can find her right through here. Again, we'll put other links to how people can reach you.
Yes.
And I really appreciate your time. I just learned in the last 12 minutes, I just learned a lot myself. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. See you soon.